Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to today's Whips, Bits and Chat. Come on, let's go and see what I got for you today. Alright, so let's start as we normally do with a video roundup. So this week I managed to get 2 videos out to you. The first one was the Join As You Go. Start that again, shall I? The first one out is the C2C Join As You Go method, and it's ideal for joining squares to squares. Basically, it's ideal for using with this pattern and other smaller patterns where you want to take it from just the cushion cover frontage to maybe a blanket. Okay, the next one up is a book review, and it's Crochetopia by Julia. I'll just let you read it, it'll be up there. Okay, so links to both of those videos of course are up in the top section. Now, I had somebody tell me that last week I hadn't put the links up there in the video, but all the links that were spoken about were in the description box down below. I'll make sure that bit's always done, and if that bit's not done, it'll be up there. So always double check both if there is any information within any of my videos that you want to get your hands on. Okay, but what I'll do is I will now talk about the item again. So I best go get it, hadn't I? Yeah, I'll talk about the item again, and of course the links to that will be up the top and down the bottom. Right, so the item I was speaking about was the beginner friendly crochet popcorn stitch bag. It's this one here. Now, of course, last week I gave you all the extra details on how I did this, and at some point I will bring out a standalone video that talks you through how I did it, so that we'll be able to find it a lot easier than trying to search through all the whips, bits and chats. That's something that I'm working on at the moment. My craft room is a right state. I have got every project that I've still got my hands on that came from under the table and hidden boxes around the craft room, and they've all been pulled out, sorted into different categories, and I've started making videos. I've only made 2 so far based on this. Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be at least 10 to 20 videos. I've just got to remember all the changes I made to all the different patterns, but it's something that's going to be fun that I hope you will enjoy watching at a later date, or once I get going with them. 2 are uploaded, but they're not coming on until next month. I've got to give myself a chance to make some more, haven't I? So at least then next month we'll have some content. Okay, and now on to items I've been making. Of course, last week I showed you a small section and said to you, guess what this is gonna be. Okay, so let me just pull out how far I have got, which is actually really far. Okay, so last week I showed you this panel, and I said to you, guess what it's going to be? And I left it at that because I'm an evil, sadistic person. We've had a couple of guesses, and a couple of you got it right. One may have, one may not. I think there was only 2 guesses in total. Not a lot of comments last week. Right, but anyway, this is the Fiber Fox Studios Ravelry pattern bundle number 22. Of course, link down below. And this is pattern number 2 from that bundle. Okay, and the bundle is called, hold on, let me pull my pattern up. I should know this, I've been looking at it for the last week. It's called Knots. Okay, so the pattern is called Knots. I see like Celtic knots in there. Other people will see other styles of knots, but this was the panel, and I think I'd got up to about here. Yeah, it's still going. Okay, so I carried on going and going and going. Oh yeah, and going. Oh, there we go. And then once I got to the panel length I wanted, I carried on going with just single crochet rows upon rows upon rows. Okay, I will give you all the stats on that at a later point on a later video. So as I said, there's those panels. Now I also did a striped panel which was white and green. I loved it. Okay, it was just 2 rows of white and then 2 rows of green, 2 rows of white, 2 rows of green. It looked really cool. But before I had finished doing this whole panel, okay, I had about one section of the repeat left, so I had that much left to go. I got bored of it. I wanted to try something else. I know, quite a lot of us are like that, aren't we? Right, so I went, right, okay, I'm going to jump onto pattern number 1 from that bundle. And I sat there and I did all the math, working out how many repeats I needed, and the fact that I wanted to put a break within the pattern repeat at certain points. So I did all the math. I did my first row, mucked it up, realised I was out by, I think it was like 2 or 3 stitches. Where are we? Can't even tell now. You can't. What are we on? Out by 4 stitches. So I got to the end and I was like, oh no, I'm out by 4. So I just did that cheeky trick where you do the single crochet and sorry, the chain and the single crochet all in one go. I've got a video on here that shows you how to do it in double crochets, so I'll pop it up there, but the same principle applies to single crochets. All right, so I started crocheting and I made a very long line. I haven't actually measured it, so I don't know how long it is, but it's over my arm length, so I know it's over 1 meter. Okay, and I started the pattern repeat. Okay, and I was going lengthways, of course, so I just kept going and going and going. Oh yeah, and going. All right. So yeah, it's extremely long, and as you can see at this center where this marker is, this is where my separation was. So I'd separated the pattern at that point with 2 extra double drop down double crochets, and I'd done that in 3 different places because this entire thing is going to be a messenger bag, I think we call them, messenger bag, record bag, but basically a longer, thinner bag than this one. Quite a lot longer. I've just seen the size of this one compared to that one. It's going to be massive. Sorry, it's going to be massive. Yeah, so I realised I ran out. Well, when I finished this, I was ever so impressed, and I thought, right, best get back to this one. And I had just finished up the ball of green. Okay, just finished up the ball of green doing this nice long one. And so I came back in here to grab the other ball of green that I know I have. I searched the cube where it should have been. It wasn't there. I searched the floor where it should have, where it probably got knocked off to, or knocked down to, I should say. It wasn't there. I checked this table. I checked the floor. I moved all the stuff that's been dumped in the corner. I have checked everywhere in here, all the bags, all the boxes, anywhere it could have been put when I wasn't quite awake or when my brain wasn't switched on, which is most of the time. Still couldn't find it. Couldn't find it at all in the slightest, and I thought, right, well, got no choice. I can't finish the pattern at that point. I need this extra section of the repeat. So I stripped back completely the 2-row repeat where I changed the colours, and then finished up the long panel. Super chuffed, and thought, right, well, when it comes to doing the stripes, I'll come back in here and I'll have another look. I checked in here, I checked the lounge, I checked the downstairs toilet just in case I put it in there on the floor or something. I checked the shoe cupboard, I even checked the freezer. Okay, forget the fridge and the rest of the, I checked the freezer, so you know I checked everywhere. Everywhere. There's still no green. So I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm just gonna have to come in and do a basic bland white panel, which is now why there is a single white panel like this, and of course the end of this one is also a single try that way single white panel instead of the striped panel, which would have looked something like the back of this. It actually looked nicer. I really liked my striped panel, but that's the way it goes when you lose your yarn and you can't find it. So now it's just a case of popping back to Hobbycraft, picking up some of the, I think it's called wadding or something. It's like flat stuffing. Pick up some of that. Pick up some more material. I might actually use some of the brown. I'm not sure whether it will show through. I'll have to do a couple of checks. But pick up either some more material or work out how much I'm going to need for this bag out of what I've got, out of that metre that's meant to be used on the spotty bag, and then put it all together. Will that happen anytime soon? Probably not, because this one's still waiting as well. But I'm getting there. Honestly, I will finish them up. It's just at the moment we've got beautiful weather here in the UK, or at least in my little shire. Okay, so we've got some stunning weather. It's nice, it's not raining. It might be overcast, but it's not raining, which means that I can tackle the garden. Both me and my husband have been doing that, and Liam's looking at as if to say, how dare you take my forest away, because the grass was way past my knee and I'm 5'8". Okay, the grass was really high. So last week we set to work with the strimmer and we took it down to a reasonable manageable length, cleared that all away and took those clippings away. We've only got a small garden. It's nothing massive, okay, it's not like an acre or half acre. It's a postage stamp size garden. Okay, so we've taken out of there 3 massive bags of garden waste. That went up the tip. That was not last week, the week before. Okay, so that was our first sunny day where we had 2 together, 1 to dry, 1 to cut. Right, this week we've taken another 3 bags up and we've managed to get the lawnmower in and working now. So yesterday I did it and I got it down to not the first step on our lawnmower, which is nice and low. It's the second step, which is nearly as low. So we've done that, right? So the back garden now has got to the point where we've just got a couple of things left to do on it. I've got some ivy that's growing, and every year I hack it back, I cut it, I dig out the roots as best as I can, and every year it grows back. Don't get me wrong, I love ivy, but this stuff grows up and over. It goes absolutely everywhere. So, and it's also destroying our fence panels, so it needs gone. So again, I've tackled some of that. I've got probably that distance left to go by 6 foot and to get rid of and bag up. Then we've got to get rid of some other weeds that are all spiky and horrible that we didn't think we had. The brambles, that's it. Those things have taken over them. Daft birds and squirrels. That's all I can say. We got brambles and we got all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff growing in our garden now. Because if some of you don't know, we actually had a squirrel's nest last year in our loft, and I think we've probably got it again. We've definitely got the bird's nest back. That they come into the corner of the property, so of course we have to leave them, and we're going to sort that, but it's one of them, we'll sort it once they've left and then we forget. And the next group move in and you're like, bog off birds. But we'll get to it. And so now the back's at a manageable state. Basically, it's time to move to the front. We've hacked the grass on one grass verge that we've got, and the other one goes all the way around the house. Now these grass verges are not ours. It's not on our property. It's owned by the estate. And the estate charge us to live here, right? Charge us a certain amount in our council tax, and they're meant to cut the grass, yet they never have. And it's actually written into our paperwork when we bought the property that we have to manage that, not them, which I think is out of order. So because it's more freaking work for me. But yeah, so we've cut one of the panels, not panels, sorry, one of the areas down so it's manageable now, and we're going to be working around the side of the house now. About this time last year, I put out a video, clip it in one of the Whips, Bits and Chats, showing you how these bushes have grown to the second floor window, and they're back up to that level again. So last year it took me, what was it, a week and a half of sitting there and feeding my muncher machine that I've got, to be able to then transport it all, because there was so much. So fingers crossed. My husband seems to think we can get it done in a day. Yeah, he got his bit done in a day, which was cutting it all, and then it was my turn to munch it all and bag it all and remove it, and that took a good few days, a week. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be up to later on today. Today, by the way, is Saturday. I'm recording this on a bit of an awkward day for me. I should have done it yesterday, but I got carried away. I started at 8 o'clock in the morning, did a bit of mowing, and then carried on with this. So yeah, I didn't get a lot of anything else done. But yeah, that's pretty much the plans for today. Not looking forward to it at all in the slightest, because I hate gardening. But at some point we will get to the point where we can dig out all of those roots, and the plan is to either lay it to grass, like the whole lot to grass, which is still a problem in my opinion, and because my inability to do it regularly due to my back and everything, I really want to just concrete it, and then put some hanging baskets in and maybe a trough, which is more manageable, because then I'd be able to have it at a higher height, sorry. And I wanted to put wildflowers in there, and maybe some lavender bushes and things like that, but have it so that it's higher up, so that I don't have to bend or sit on soggy grass. But either way, we'll see how we go. It's going to be one of them projects that I'll be talking about again next year. With the same thing of, it's grown up to the second floor again. We know how it goes in this house, don't we? Crochet first. Oops. No, family first, crochet second. Gardening. Yeah, that's way down there. Right, okay, and now for a little bit of gossip. Now, I'm not one for gossiping normally, and I don't like gossip, but this one's a good gossip. Okay, so if you are in the UK, okay, and you have used the affiliate link in the past, that's down there, and you signed up to the Secret Yarn Stashes newsletter, okay, make sure you check your emails, because they have got the most amazing discount code up for grabs at the moment, if of course you are signed up to them and you've already purchased through them. Okay, if you haven't, don't panic. There is going to be a discount code released next month that I will shout and rave about, so that you can run over and have a look. If you want to have a look in the nose now, by all means pop onto that affiliated link down below. If you've signed up to them previously, you can still use that affiliated link to click through and pop onto the site, and it'll bring you up on your normal page and everything, and all your details will already be loaded up. Now, I've spent all my points. I broke my yarn ban because I got my email. Okay, so I have broke my yarn ban, but I've been very sensible. I used all of my affiliate points, so I've now got 15 balls of red yarn coming, and some black, and some green, because I bought red with the affiliate points, but of course I need black and green. Oh, let's move it over. It's all his fault. He made me do it. Uncle Tom sat over my shoulder shouting, buy red, buy black, buy green, buy bulk. So I did. Can't really blame him. I didn't serve him an open mouth, did I? But no, so I've purchased basically 15 balls of this red yarn for next year's poppies. So that should be arriving sometime. Fingers crossed it'll be today, but I only put the order in yesterday. Normally it tips up pretty quick for me, and just because I live quite close, but I'm thinking it'll probably turn up Monday. If it turns up Monday, expect a video to come out probably Monday or Tuesday, and depending on the date will depend on if I'm shouting out that a discount code for anybody that hasn't been to the Secret Yarn Stash before. And if you've been on this channel for a while and you're in the UK, why haven't you? It's affiliated, doesn't cost you nothing, but her yarn is cheaper than Wool Warehouse and other places on the internet. Okay, and she's in the UK, but yeah, and she's absolutely lovely as well. Oh, I keep raving about her, just don't get it. But yeah, definitely check your emails if you're already signed up to them, and if you're not, keep an eye out for that future video. Discounts. But to be honest, I don't quite know when I'm going to be able to get out shopping, especially without husband not being there to rein me in, because Lemon, my gorgeous little decrepit car, we had an incident a couple of weeks back where I hit a tremendous pothole. I came home very safely after dropping my daughter off, informed my husband that it now chirps, squeaks and clunks. Yeah, poppy technical term for the car is knackered, but yeah, that now instead of just having a clunk, it has a squeak and it has a chirp and it has a this and it has a that sound, and where they're coming from, I know nothing about cars apart from how to drive them. And as I Lemon had been pretty much sitting outside resting in the hopes that it would be fixed. We had a little go at it with some WD-40 in some certain places where we thought, okay, that's probably where it was, and the chirps disappeared for a couple of weeks. The clonks were still there, but the clonks have been there since I got the car, and it's been through 2 MOTs and they found no issues with it. And then the chirps disappeared for a couple of days, but then they came back. So instead of it just chirping when I went round a right corner, it chirped when I went straight, and it chirped when I was left, and it depended on what day it was to which side of the car it chirped from. So poor Lemon is now up on a ramp. Her wheels have been taken off. Her shoes have been removed. And there's a nice list of bits and bobs that my husband's had to purchase, including a new lift because his old one was broken. So he's now got a new super duper duper one. Boys and their toys, eh? But at least then it gives him something extra to do. So Lemon went up on the ramp yesterday, got stripped down to where she needed to be, and now we're just waiting on deliveries. We were hoping the stuff was going to arrive today. Fingers crossed it still does, but if not, it'll be Tuesday because bank holiday weekend this week. Yay, lucky for us. But it doesn't matter because I can always steal my husband's car. He hates me driving his car. He's got power. Off I go. Right, okay, so I pretty much have run out of things to talk about today, so I'm gonna head off now. I will see you all really soon. So please remember, stay chilled, stay happy and keep crafting. Goodbye everybody.